let's move on now to the headlines. Let's see what the papers are saying this morning across Nigeria. I have with me in the studio a journalist, Charles Ideho, and public affairs analyst, Razak Olokoba. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning, Mike.
Nice
Good morning, Razak.
Nice to see you. Right. Let's begin with Daily Trust. DSS clears 21 nominees as National Assembly returns or resumes today. And uncertainty over principal officers. We still have that controversy hanging in there. That's Daily Trust. Now, from there, let's go to the Nigerian News Direct. News Direct says court orders final forfeiture of Patience Jonathan's $8.4 million and 9.2 billion naira to federal government. It's a huge amount of money. All right, that's what the News Direct has on its front page. Let's move now to the Blueprint. The Blueprint newspaper says INEC on funding election expenses. APC, PDP, others yet to submit report. Releases Bayelsa Kogi polls guidelines. And IPAC seeks tougher registration conditions. You find all that on the front page of the Blueprint newspaper. The Vanguard is where we go next. Vanguard says presidential tussle. Tribunal orders Atiku, PDP to prove case in 10 days. 400 witnesses lined up. APC Buhari gets 6 days to respond to PDP's petition. Ordinary witnesses to present evidence in 5 minutes, to be cross-examined in 10 minutes, and 10 minutes for star expert subpoenaed witnesses, and 20 minutes for cross-examination. It's just a breakdown of how things will be at the tribunal. All right, from the Vanguard, let's go to Nigeria Tribune now. The Nigeria Tribune says minimum wage, nationwide strike looms, and Labour accuses federal government of derailing implementation. You find that on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. I guess we'll talk about that shortly. All right, let's move now to The Nation. The Nation newspaper says governor split as cattle settlements row rages. All right, governor split as cattle settlements row rages. Okay, we have all that on the front page of The Nation newspaper. From there, let's go to The Guardian, which will also be our last for the morning. More states, groups reject Ruga settlements for herders. More states and groups reject Ruga settlements for herders. We wouldn't cede Ekiti land to outsiders, Fayemi vows. And no plan for it in southeast, south-south. Benue flares claim of gazetted land in 36 states. Bauchi backs government. List of pilot states released. Okay, you have that on the front page of The Guardian newspaper. Gentlemen, one issue that might interest you, would like to talk about, is on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune that talks about the minimum wage. Now, the controversy is on the consequential adjustment. It's already clear from, level 1 to 7, it's 30,000 naira for them, but from 7 to 14, government is saying we can only give or offer 9.5%. Labour is saying no, it has to be 30% increment, and then from 15 to 17, government is saying only 5% can we give. Labour is insisting on 25% increment for those at that level, and it is holding things back as the case may be. Charles, let me start with you on this.
Well, incidentally, I think I personally will support the government on this.
Why? Why is that?
The reason is very simple. We're discussing before we came on set that the most traumatized cadre of the labor force is the lowest rung, the ones on the lowest rung of the ladder. Because if you look at them, you place them vis-a-vis with the ones who are on top over there. You see that they are the whipping boys, so to speak. Because even the higher you go, the more the allowances. Even when you talk about their minimum in terms of what they earn minus allowances, they're still fatter. Okay, even when you talk about the allowances and all of that, what the junior ones, what they get at the end of the day, is just mere pittance. So I think if you want equity to come, you want the people where you have as I said, the lowest rank, I think they deserve to have theirs, their flesh, better than the ones on top. Because all those ones on top are already earning enough. So the 5% government is earning.
They are earning enough?
No, okay, not enough. Not enough. I withdraw the enough.
Okay.
They are any better than the lowest, the ones on the lowest rung. So therefore, what I expect is that It's just like taxation, okay, like progressive. The higher you go, the more money you take to the government's coffers. So that's why it's because, so that you'll be able to help those who are the lowest rung, to help them. Because they visit the same market, right? The schools they are taking. No. So you need to also energize, you need to encourage them so that you'll be able to bring about what will look like a semblance of parity in need, even though it may not achieve 100% parity, but at least so that you can, because they form the greater part of the labor force. So I think what government is doing, for me, I will support the government.
Razak, I wonder what you make of this.
From someone who come from the labor background and an activist, we have got to a point where we have to be pragmatic in our demands. That our demands, is it possible to meet this demand? That's what the first thing you should think of these days when you are making demands. And my take on this is aligning with Jazz, that they are agonized, the most agonized class of labor and working class are the sectors that the federal government has increased their salary to minimum to 30% from 1 to 7. Their take-home is pittance, and you buy the same bread with someone who is in level 7, 6, 5, with a director. You pay the same fare, it's the same air ticket, and probably go to the same school. So what we should be thinking about for people who are in a higher class, they should be patriotic enough to also consider the plight of those people, because the 5 or 3 years increase may not be possible if we meet the demand of labor, and that's why they should
because as it is already, salaries are being owed
in advance.
Some
governors are happy about
April.
it, and some governors are happy. Some governors are happy about this delay.
Why did
Because
they have
no matter the agreement you
you
sign that they will pay, how many agreements have you signed that some governors don't even honor? So labor should be strategic and tactical about it. And another angle that we have been calling labor, organized labor, to look at all these days is that talk to captains of industries, talk to people who are in charge of price control. That what is the production cost of, for instance, this mug? What is production cost? How does it get to the market? Labor should not only be talking about salary increase all the time. How much is a bag of rice? What is landing cost for people who import things? These are sectors, these are strategies that laborers all over the world pay attention to. So it's not only about salary increase all the time.
Aren't those the parameters labor uses to arrive at its own demand?
If that is the parameter also, they should not just stop at pricing it alone.
Okay.
They should also move further, proceed further by looking at production costs.
What goes into the production?
So why do you arrive at this price?
But then,
so that they should ginger the price control sector to also warn them of the danger of salary increase and price of commodity. Because if you are taking from here to beggar 100 naira, and because of salary increase, you have increased your own salary. There's no justification for it.
And
But what I'm saying,
and
that's the area the labor is not looking at. It's not only about government all the time.
Okay.
We have to. It's an irresponsible radical.
I wanted to even. Sorry, Mike.
Okay.
There's little or nothing labor can do in that aspect about talking about.
Fundamentally, they can do things.
No. Let me say why I said so.
Okay.
Because most of the factor responsible for the increase in the cost of production is outside labor.
It's not in the hands of labor.
No. Salary increase.
Okay.
Salary increase.
No,
Anytime you increase salary,
yes,
the price of good increases. Raw material. Is my salary raw material?
Oh, okay. What about the factor responsible for this?
That's another day.
No, it's not another day. They are all connected.
No, it's not connected.
They are connected.
At the point you are increasing my salary,
yes,
you don't increase the price of food production. Is my salary your raw material?
Well, but again, you also look at. That's why we talk about the evil in
Capitalism.
Capitalism. That's the evil. There's something you can do, but because there's all
capitalism has a face. So
it has a
that's
face.
capital.
It has a face.
About communism. All ideology in the world have grown.
They all have faces.
But again, there's something you can do about labor.
Predominant capitalism.
All right, gentlemen.
Gentlemen.
The point there is, as it is right now, we're looking at the likelihood of a strike, of a national strike.
I think it might be difficult for us to say it's not possible. Because labor, as I said, we are also not creative. I don't see government yielding ground. I don't also see labor also yielding, because the stand that labor has taken now, it seems as if it's a standard. It's either you do that or we come out. So you find two parties that are holding on to their stance. So I don't see
it's likely
more
that
likely.
there could be a strike.
Labor should not traumatize.
There could be a strike, and then before negotiation will start.
But
one way or the other, there has to be.
It's a familiar part. We are trying that from
the concession by government is good enough. They should just take it.
Well, okay, that's your plea, right? Okay, that's your plea. That's your plea, and it's certainly personal to you.
Okay.
Labor will see from a different perspective.
Yes, that's right.
But certainly, we thank you very much, Razak Olokoba, for coming on the program.
Thank you.
Thank you, Charles Ideho, for coming as well.
Thank you, yes.
Right.